can move them to the upstairs spare room. So I'll flip this around. We got a whole bunch of our parts back from our buddy Richie. He's got them all painted, and he's only got two pieces left. I'm sorry. He's got the dash, and he's still got the hinge for the glove box door. So we got these back. We're just going to let them sit around for a month before we do anything with anything, so the paint is good and cured. And I just whipped this together real fast so we could kind of get a small view of what it should look like. Actually, I think it's out of alignment, but gives you a good idea of what our gauge cluster is going to look like when it's all back together. But yeah, so this is a good chunk of pieces out of the way. We don't need right away, but once some of this is cured and out, I'm going to start bolting the gauge clusters back together after a bit of cleanup. And yeah, I'll get in trouble for this, but I got spare parts parked up here, chrome pieces, because, you know, when you start running out of shed space, you got to put stuff somewhere. So thought you might like to have a look at that. That's a lot of clean stuff. We've been into all the rust and grinding and cutting and welding, and this is kind of a step forward to some pieces being finished up. So that's the first part of this video. I will pick it up back in the garage. So we got another good day in. I'll just start here since this is the front of the car again, of course. We got this braze, so we were actually trying to remove all the brass that was here from the original, where this flap was welded from the cowl down to the A-pillar. And we decided it would just be easier to re-braze it because the brazing material wasn't that easy to get out of there, so we were going to remove it and then MIG weld it, but this was just as easy, and this is the way it actually was originally. So that got done. I will walk you to the back and just give you an idea what happened here. We started with the trunk, and this is still all in the state of work, so it is a bloody mess, but there was a couple of things going on here. We have to address, obviously, this trough here as well as this top panel, because, of course, it's got some rot. This is also where the bracket goes underneath that welds to the top of the wheel tub there. Both sides are the same structure. This one actually is even worse. It kind of does a dip thing. It's probably a little hard to see, but this was all hammered and dollied when the repair was done on the convertible, and we actually dug quite a bit of Bondo out of here. So the guy not only had to dolly this to repair it, but he also had to put quite a bit of filler to maintain the level that it was. And again, this other corner is quite rotten. So we started out with that, and we weren't happy with the fitment of the trunk, so we actually decided to just sit on that one for a day. We had to order some sheet metal anyways, so we tackled a few jobs. If you look down this side, you can see that all that is filed down pretty much flush. There's a little bit of, well, you can see some valleys, of course, where the weld shrunk it, but both of them are fairly straight to look down them, and we like the way, when we ran the level over it, it actually, there's very little to be concerned about now with that. The undercoating, or trunk coating, whichever you want to call it, had to come off, of course, and although you're seeing an awful lot of rust, it's all surface rust, and believe it or not, this was all covered with all that coating you see that's still piled up in there. Like I said, we haven't done a cleanup yet, but the you can see, of course, some of it is all still good steel, and where moisture didn't manage to get underneath the coating, still is quite clean metal. There's, like, this is another area that looks quite clean. But that's a good chunk of that done, and we have a little repair to do above. These are where the braces or the channels run underneath the trunk, so we've got to fix that as well as the channel underneath. And there's a little bit of rot right there on that one as well. So that also has to be dealt with. The three of us went to different locations and got a bunch of work done. I'll insert a little clip of what the day looked like. So we got started on the, I guess, the patented armadillo cut. It's not as pretty as we were hoping for. It's actually a little bit trickier to get all these pieces to lay down, and it required a little bit of maneuvering, but it could still actually be hammered and dollied after the fact here, and it'll look a little better. As well, I forgot in the previous video, so we pulled out these are from the original chrome guys, so they're a little less than perfect, but we had these out so that we could see how they fit along this B-pillar post leading up to them. The other side was actually a little more problematic. We didn't realize that the piece was actually quite warped, so we actually put a bit of a tweak to it, and it actually, with a little bit of pressure, once it's pulled down, it'll actually fit the panel correctly. But we're going to deal with this because, again, this is another area that was all hammered and dollied from the original repair that was done on the convertible, and we actually might cut this piece completely out of here and replace it. So we're moving along. Things are not pretty looking yet. Whoops, I would not call that pretty looking yet. But they're getting there. And of course, this one still has to be done. It is a little bit time consuming, I will admit. But you know, one piece at a time. I guess that's the saying as you go. But sure sign that we're actually making strides. We just decided that the trunk was something we were going to sit on until we had the sheet metal, and we kind of got our ducks in a row as to what we wanted to tackle first. We didn't know if we wanted to tackle the top side or the corner first, but we do know we want to work with the relative positioning that everything is still in. So again, you got to go in strides to get this stuff done, and I guess as long as you're getting work done on it, it's still moving forward. So again, another day got finished. We got a bunch of work done, and we'll be back at it Monday. Today is Friday, and I can tell you right now, cheers, it's the end of the work day for me anyways, and probably be out here another day myself, but then Monday, of course, the boys will be back, and we'll put a couple more days in this week and get a little further done. I believe I forgot to tell Richie, thanks a bunch. I totally appreciate all the time that he's putting in to help us out, and of course to all of you for watching. We totally appreciate you, and cheers.